Hello, this is day 2 of lesson 16. We are going to be working the homework page as a part of lesson 16. You need to make sure that when you do this part, you are going to use an arrow to show why you're choosing the greater than or less than symbol. And this template 16 went with yesterday's video. I hope you figured that out. And also here is the exit ticket for lesson 16. And again, you need to tell why. You're going to tell why using an arrow so that we can see why you are picking greater than, less than, or equal to. If you just put a greater than or less than symbol, I will mark it wrong. You need to tell me why you're picking that particular one. So this is a continuation of yesterday's lesson on greater than, less than, and equal to. Okay, we are going to continue with a few more exercises with greater than, less than, and equal to as a part of our fluency warm-up. We are going to start with 154 is greater than or less than 254. And I would like you to look at that number and think about where you should be starting. Would it be in the hundreds? Would it be in the tens? Or would it be in the ones? Okay, you're making a decision about what you think. And if you've got your whiteboard, you should write this down and try this yourself. Okay, so if you said that 154 is less than 254, that would be correct. And how do I know that? Because when I look at my hundreds, which is the first place value, the largest place value, I can see that I'm really comparing 100 and 200. 100 is less than 200, therefore 154 is less than 254. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so this time we are going to do 349 and 493. So we are going to be comparing 349 and 493. So pause the video, figure out whether this is a greater than, less than, or equal to problem. Do not forget to use an arrow to point out why you made that decision. Okay, did you come back? All right, so I'm thinking that if I look at my hundreds place, I can see that I have 300 being compared to 400. 300 is less than 400, therefore 349 is less than 493. Doesn't matter what's in the tens or in the ones when the largest place value is the place that you should be using to determine place value and greater than or less than. Okay, so now let's try 743 and 734. All right, same thing. You're deciding which one is greater, which one is less. Pause the video if you need to. Make a decision. Are you back? Well, if you notice that the hundreds place are both 700, so I can't make my comparison there. So I have to move over to the tens place. And I am seeing that I have a 4 in the tens place and a 3 in the tens place. If I was going to compare 4 tens and 3 tens, 4 tens would be greater than 3 tens, or I could look at this as 74 tens and 73 tens. 74 tens would be greater than 73 tens. How did you do? Are you starting to figure it out? I hope so. Okay, let's try this one. Let's do 947 and 947. So I have 947. I think you'll see that this one, the hundreds are the same, the tens are the same, and the ones are the same. What does that mean? Did you say that they were equal to each other? If you did, congratulations. Okay, let's try another one. Let's do 536 and 539. 536 and 539. Take just a moment and figure out whether this one is greater or this one is greater. All right, so did you say that the 5/500ths was the same in both? So I know that I can't use that to compare, and I've got 3/10s as well. I could also say that I have 53/10s and 53/10s, which would also be equal. So I need to come to my ones place value, and I'm going to compare 6 ones and 9 ones. 6 ones is less than 9 ones, or I could say 536 ones is less than 539 ones. How'd you do? Okay, there's going to be more of that in what we're doing today. Now, before we get started on our lesson, we are going to do our problem application for today. I hope that you have a piece of paper and pencil so that you can either copy this down, which is probably a really good idea since you don't have a copy of it. Remember that we are going to use cubes and read, draw, and write to solve this problem. At recess, I'm going to do the read part first. At recess, Diane skipped rope 65 times without stopping. Peter skipped rope 20 times without stopping. How many more times did Diane skip rope than Peter? So I've read the problem. Now I'm going to circle my numbers. I'm going to underline the question, box keywords, X out extra information, and set it up to solve. The setting up to solve part is like the draw part. And of course, I do need to write a response about how this is looking. So I need to think about how many more times did Diane skip rope than Peter. So a possible written part could be Diane skipped rope blank more times than Peter did. So you do need to show your answer as a statement. Anytime you're doing a word problem, you need to do a word answer. So at recess, Diane skipped rope 65 times without stopping. Peter skipped rope 20 times without stopping. How many more times did Diane skip rope than Peter? So I have circled my numbers, I've underlined my question, and I have boxed my keywords. That's as far as I'm going to take it today, friends. You need to do the rest and figure out exactly how many more times Diane skipped rope, how many more times than Peter did. Okay, pause the video. Take just a moment and see if you can figure this one out. Are you back? Should be. All right, so let's take a look at this. So I'm going to use a number bond. This might not have been the way that you did it, but it is one possible way that it could be done. I know that Diane skipped the rope 65 times and that Peter, here's Peter over here, Peter skipped rope 20 times. Now I think if I wanted to find out the total number or how many more Diane skipped than Peter did, this would be a great place to start. This would tell me how many more times. So I'm going to set this up as an equation. So I know that something plus 20 would give me 65, or 65 take away 20 would give me something. I think I'm going to do this one as a subtraction problem. So 65 take away 20 would give me how many more times Diane skipped than Peter. So did you get this far? Something similar to this, or perhaps maybe you did it another way. Perhaps maybe you said 20 plus something would equal 65, which would also be a possible way to set up your equation and to write out your equation. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at 5 ones take away 0 ones would be 5 ones, and 6 tens take away 2 tens would be 4 tens. What would I have to add to 20 to get 65? Well, I know I'm going to need to have a 5 in this place because 0 plus 5 would give me the 5 here. What would I have to add to the 2 tens to give me 6 tens? I would have to add 4 tens. So Diane skipped rope 45 more times than Peter did. How did you do? Were you successful? I hope so. Since this page is so similar to what we did in yesterday's assignment, I am not going to take a time to go over it at this particular point. I think that we did this plenty of times yesterday and that you can do this one on your own. Let's go ahead. I think it's just that one page. Oh, look at that. It is, because this was from the first day. All right, so day 2, you just need to complete this page. If you have questions or can't remember, you can always go back and look at what you did on day 1. Then, once you get finished with that, you will need, you should have already done this part on the video with the girl who does the video. And I'm going to remind you, if you haven't already, it would be a good idea to re-watch lesson 16. I'm pretty sure that I mentioned that yesterday. But to re-watch it so that you are watching lesson 16 twice on Eureka. Okay? So once you get done with that, then you are going to be doing the exit ticket. And I'm going to see if there's anything in particular I need you to do, other than the fact that I need you to tell me why you are using the greater than, equal to, or less than sign. That's the only thing that I need, and you are telling me that using an arrow. So send this one to your teacher. And then we will be done with this one. Oh, not quite. Send that one to your teacher. I'm going to show you what the answer key is for the homework page. Be certain that you have this all the way completed before you look at the next part of the video. All right, so I'm going to put this up and give you a chance to look at it. Hopefully you have a parent there with you, your parent teacher who is helping you with this part. So let me move this up, and you can look and see how you personally did on each one of these. Pause the video so you can look and see how you did. Please remember that if you don't show those arrows, Miss Star will mark it incorrect. I need to see the arrow that tells me what place value you were looking at when you made that decision. It's very important that we can see that you really understand why you're picking what you're picking, including on these here. We want to know that you understood fully why you were picking greater than, or why you were picking less than, or perhaps maybe why you were also picking equal to. Oops. There you go, my friends. Pause the video. And you have a great day of learning.